weeks, sometimes a few months, and sometimes a few years. But as soon as they're ready, they all find their home.
That is truly wonderful to hear. Did in draft horses?
I actually grew up in the thoroughbred and warm blood world, but it was actually a chance ride on a Clydesdale that changed my life forever. And that's when I decided that draft horses were where it was at, because why wouldn't you want to ride this? It's like riding a couch.
Stunning. She is stunning. Tell us about Katie.
So this is Katie, and Katie actually transferred to us from another equine welfare organization. She fell on hard times when her owner wasn't able to manage some of her health and medical needs. So it's important for people to understand that, part of responsible horse ownership is planning for the unknown future, planning for what's going to happen if your horse gets sick, and planning for what happens if they get hurt, because they live well into their 30s. Young, she's only 14 years old, so she has a lot of life left in her.
And is Katie currently available for adoption, or will she be available for adoption at some point?
We're still treating Katie. She has a condition called canker, which is a disease of her feet, and she's doing really, really well. She's about 95% cured. Been canker-free for about a half a year, then we'll offer her to a home.
Well, it must be amazing to watch horses come in and transfer from being at risk, and in some cases probably having health issues, but not probably all cases, but some cases, and then to get to see them go on their new lives.
Right. And well, most of the horses that we rescue are completely healthy. They don't really have any complicated problems. When we get horses who are maybe more rare and unique breeds, we might be more likely to find a horse who has special needs, because there's a little bit more demand for those breeds. But most of the time we're dealing with really healthy horses. They just, they're not unwanted, they're unlucky.
Yeah.
They simply fell on hard times.
Yeah, it's like there's a little window that opens up, and that horse can be vulnerable in that moment in time. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean that there isn't a place for that horse to go ultimately, or that they're not a desirable horse. That's what people don't know about the horse population. It's really common for people to transfer horses. Mm-hmm. It's not quite like dogs and cats where we just keep them in our life, our lives usually. I mean, that's how I do it, and I think that's how you like to do it as a personal horse person. But mm-hmm. I know that for a lot of people, it's not a long-term relationship. So there's moments of vulnerability where horses kind of fall into the wrong hands and get into trouble. But you guys are here to help with that.
We are, and we try to help network with owners and help give guidance when people have a horse that they can't keep. Prefer that an owner take their own steps to make responsible choices, because as a good owner, that really is their responsibility. It shouldn't be falling on the rescues to do that. But we are here to catch the horses who don't have anyone else left to speak for them.
And a lot of owners don't know what they should or shouldn't be doing, so sometimes just providing them with some information or support can keep the horse in that moment too. It's kind of, we're noticing that with the we have safety net programs where we ask people, what would it take for you to not have to surrender this animal? And it's been really successful. It sounds like you guys do a fair amount of that as well.
We do. We try to keep horses in their homes when we can. Oftentimes, normally we have to find a secondary solution for the horse. With horses, they live so long, and they can be quite an expensive hobby. So it's a venture into pet ownership that definitely takes a lot of commitment and dedication. That if that's the road that you're going to go down, you're going to have a friend for the next 15, 30 years.
So is she sleepy when she yawns, or what's she expressing?
She might be a little bored with us. I ran out of peppermints.
We have a few audience comments and questions.
Okay, we're going to take some audience questions.
So the first one is, where are you located? So for anyone just tuning in, would you mind telling us where you're located?
We're located in Mount Airy, Maryland, which is central Maryland, and we adopt within a 4-hour radius.
Great. And then a few people have asked what can be done for the horse slaughter and what they can do to help.
Great. Well, I'm glad someone's asking about horse slaughter. It's one of those issues that Christine is all too familiar with. She actually goes to the auctions and rescues horses out from under. It's something that the ASPCA is very concerned about and working hard to try to end. Requires the community work. It requires the horse rescues being there to help horses. But in fact, the truth is, it really is going to require a new law. And until we have the federal government pass a ban on horse slaughter, these predatory individuals are going to continue to lurk around horse auctions and scoop horses out from under good homes and take them where they shouldn't go, which is off to commercial slaughter, which is something that we know is happening. Horses aren't bred for that purpose, and Americans don't consume horse meat. Shocking for people to know, but it is a problem and something that are working really hard to put an end to. And I appreciate so much that you've taken a strong stand against
Sure. Yeah.
Thanks for asking.
Of course, and if anybody is interested in adopting, we've posted a link that will be in the top comment, but could you just repeat the website again if people are interested in adopting the horses?
Oh, the website's really quick and easy. It's www.gentlegiantsdrafthorserescue.org.
All right. And then somebody asked what kind of horse Katie is.
What kind of horse?
Oh, Katie is a Clydesdale, and she's 14 years old. She's very typical traditional Clydesdale, kind of like the Budweiser Clydesdale, but the breed actually comes in lots and lots of different colors.
And about how long is their lifespan?
Draft horses commonly live well into their 30s.
Oh, wow. So she's just a teenager.
Yep.
The kid, Katie.
Do you have an idea of when she might be ready for adoption?
Maybe in a year. About 64 other horses that are ready to go right now and would love for you to look at them instead.
And do you have...
Let me tell you, all of these horses here, every single one of them is adorable and charming and beautiful and deserves a great home. So I am struggling to not take them home with me today, I'll tell you.
I'm sure.
Christine.
And do you have other kinds of horses besides draft horses at your rescue?
Since there aren't many organizations that are serving the needs of draft horses, we've decided to focus specifically on draft horses and draft crosses because there really isn't another voice for them or another group out there advocating specifically on their behalf.
Great.
Sucker, and we do have about 4 or 5 who have maybe snuck in.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you wanted to close on?
I just think it's a great way to go. I happen to have 2 rescued horses, and I really, really think that it is the most gratifying way to bring a horse into your life, to build the bond with them, knowing that they really needed you to do that. It's just a special way to bring a horse into your life, and a lot of people don't consider adopting, and they really should. Horses at rescues are phenomenal. They can do anything you need a horse to do, and I think people should be really focusing on that.
Wonderful. All right, thank you.